Well, hi there, racing fans, and welcome to the Winning Ways show for this week. And we've got a hell of a show for you. We're going to be chatting a bit of soccer to Budgie Byrne in your call, but we're going to also chat to Jeremy Chetty, who won the Charity Turf Challenge. And what a winner it was. We'll find out how he did it, see if he can give us a few pointers for this year's competition. But Lef, nice to see you properly attired.
Yeah, I've got my cap on now, James. I'm starting. I've got the Bruce Willis look.
Yeah.
It's going down well, and I've got my beard. I've got more fire breaks in the Sierra Madre Mountains.
In Alan Southern's farm as well.
That's right. If there's a fire, I'm safe.
Yeah.
But the rats are scurrying off the ship. the buildings are up, but the penthouse is, as you can see, it's all just falling off.
Well, I must tell you, you know, you're looking pretty good for all the treatment you've had, and you're very positive. Things
you've got to be
well.
positive. Yeah, yesterday's winners certainly pipped me up no end.
A couple of winners, yeah, we'll be talking about that. And Bassie, nice to see him out of danger now, and you know,
news.
a leg and a half, and you know,
fantastic at Mike Bass's. He's a fighter, he's a winner, and he's a great mate. I'm really proud of the whole family.
Yeah, they've been absolutely amazing through this time, and all the racing fans who prayed for them and looked after them and been so supportive. I've heard about people spending days there in the waiting room with Michael, and you know what, Walter, we're glad you're back.
I was very fortunate. I didn't bug the family, but Andrew Bond kept me up to speed with the Marky's updates, and I managed to speak to Marky.
The one thing that this has put out of the picture now completely, because even with a leg like that triathlete or whatever, he's not going to jump off that balcony.
I think that's been
because he'll drown. He might get it right, but he'll drown.
It's taken off the bucket list now. The ledge jump, the Mike Bass ledge jump has now been taken off the list. Yeah, he's going to have to spring like Oscar.
And even then, he won't be able to paddle to the edge, so he'll just drown. So.
But he'll be back on the golf course sooner than you know it.
Yeah.
And we wish you speedy success, Mike. We're all thinking about you.
Right, let's go and have a look at our 3 to follow, and we are going to have a sting.
Dad, distorted humor, he's probably one of his best sons at stud.
I'll have another, wins the Derby. Lilacs and Lace, 48-1, upset.
He's just a big, strong, leggy horse.
Well, we're going to go to Durbanville first and have a look at the first race, Saturday the 12th of September, 1,400 metres. They just don't run out of these nice horses, and this filly we think might be quite good. Let's go and pick up Francia at the start.
Yeah, this is a dynasty, and Jack's colours again, you can see it. This horse, it walks out the gate, it doesn't know much about it. It's a debut run, and it's over this trip of 7 furlongs, but our friend young Dylan, who's down there riding, Donovan Dylan, gets it into midfield on the fence. He does a good job on this unraced horse. And a couple of unraced horses here, James, that I thought did well. The runner-up as well, Playboy Buddies, and the white is a long way back too.
Yeah, but just speaking about Donovan Dylan, he's relocated to the Cape, and he's got his break because Bernard Fairhope's got 3 weeks out for knee surgery. So he's won 4 races for the Snakes, and I think that they've got to be pretty pleased with him. He always looked like he was a class act, Donovan Dylan. He's got his head firmly on his shoulders, and we like him as a kid. We think he's a very good rider.
He's a very nice kid. He's doing very well. He gives us a very good ride. He lets this horse creep back into the race. She's a dynasty, everything to like about it. Out of a Rakeen mare, and gets a lovely ride. He doesn't panic here because the front runners have got some form, and they're still going on at a good clip. Playboy Buddies in the white, also the Judpot making a debut runs on. But when this horse gets a split late in the race, Donovan hasn't panicked, because it hasn't made up much ground up the straight yet.
No, and this is the problem, is that you think, well, it's going to be a bit tight. He gets the run through them, and he just is so cool, calm, and collected. Look, she wins easily, and we think that she could be very good, this filly, because of the manner in which she won. But the second filly ran very well as well.
Absolutely. Francia and Playboy Buddy, both unraced horses. Well, they were, and they've come through well.
Right, we're going to go and have a look at Scottsville, 13th of September. A big day there, and the first race, 1,000 meters, maiden plate. Let's go and pick them up. We picked up the second horse, Anti-Omnia.
Yeah, here it is here. This is by Speightstown, a stallion who really got rolling, and a beautifully bred horse, ridden in the famous Joost Silks, ridden by Arthur Marcus. This horse, Anti-Omnia, means without family you're nothing, basically. You've got to have your family around you, and how right that is. And here, a lot of money for a horse here who I think you put a line through. They reported later, the horse Treasure Hunter in the pink, who's leading, that it choked up and was found to be not striding out. So they keep an eye on that as well. But the winner goes to our stable, Apollo's Gift, in the yellow. But we've got 3 or 4 lengths clear of Animo Domini here.
Yeah, your horse runs a very nice race. Walmart Knight, he's a nice big strong horse.
Yeah.
You got the run of the race. Stu Randolph gives him a cracker. Nice day for you to have a couple of winners. You know,
absolutely. So. This is he wins well, but this first time, they said this horse was getting better all the time, this horse Anti-Omnia, and you can see Arthur gets him to come. He quickens up late in the race, and be with him next time. Whoa, this is quickening up well, James.
Yeah, he's by Speightstown, who's an internationally acclaimed stallion. So,
yeah,
you know, you've got a chance with a horse like him, and we think that he'll go well over a bit more ground, this horse. He could be something worth having a good look at. Let's go Scottsville, race 4. A couple of first-timers stepped out here. Also, fillies, 1,400 metres. Quite interesting. The winner, very, very nice. The second filly ran a cracking good race. Let's go and have a look at the two of them.
Yeah, this is an interesting race because Honeysuckle Rose, I thought would be the horse to beat, and taken the front in the blinkers on the white colours, 2 off the right by Arthur Marcus. It runs a very good race. It's only its second run of its life, the first time on the turf, and runs very well. I was impressed with it. But the 2 unraced horses, or the 2 that we're talking about, the one we've picked is the runner-up, because it should win next time. It's called Joyful Mystery, and that is second last in the red cap on the fence, being scrubbed, number 4.
Yeah, she's Dennis Bosch trains her, Joyful Mystery, and she certainly has to make up a lot of ground on the filly that ends up winning it. So it is a very good run of hers indeed. She's by Ashawis out of a Fort Wood mare, so she'll go all day, bred by the Armitages. And she's always been under pressure.
Yeah.
And the winner's under pressure now as well. Marcus leading them a merry dance in front, going to try and pinch it. But the winner wins well, and this filly's made up a lot of ground to get with very, very close to the winner.
Honeysuckle runs in towards the inside, and Arthur goes right-handed to it. But Rosina has come through to put in the pressure. But here, coming with the run now, is this horse. And you can see it with the noseband. It really gets close to the winner, Rosina. This is Joyful Mystery.
Yeah, very, very good run. Probably the run under the belt. It ran the race of this race, and having come from quite a long way off them. But the first 3, I think, will all go and win a race in the near future. Even the 4th horse beat the rest of them like 7.5 lengths. So those 4 have a close look at this race. Rosina winning the maiden, unraced, and the second filly, Joyful Mystery. So nice bunch that we picked up this week. I think that there's some very nice fillies amongst them and some nice 3-year-olds. Let's go and have a look at Blast from the Past.
Gates are open, soft falling rain, pulling clear, soft falling rains won the SA Nursery by 3.
Racing in the 2,000 guineas. Gates fly and they're racing in the Godolphin Mile.
They're off and racing.
Weight didn't matter. Class tells, soft falling rain, much too good. Soft falling rain, an impressive guineas winner. Soft falling rain is drawing clear.
He's made it 7 out of 7 by winning here today.
But it's soft falling rain who is powering away. We'll see out the mile in style. A high-class performer wins the Nay of Joel Stakes.
Once again, we're just about set. Mr. Wizard to get that final shove forward. All set. This time they're racing, and Jetmaster came away with Chief Editor, Royal Sanctuary, Bright Knight, then Royal Victor. Behind that is Lestat. Classic Flag is on the far side. Racing up along the inside of that one is the Delegator. Also going up is Mr. Wizard. Model Magic back one from last. United Land is the back marker. They're pretty compact. as they go towards the 1400 now, and Foreign Press has decided to go on with it and lead it by 3. Jetmaster is racing up there in second. The Delegator is also making progress up on the far side. Chief Editors with that group, and then follows Rarotonga Treaty with Royal Sanctuary and Royal Victor. They were followed by Bright Night. He has the run of the fence, and outside of that is Classic Flag. Lestat is racing amongst them, and they were followed by Mr. Wizard. Then comes Royal Victor, Model Magic. United Land is well out of his ground as they race them on towards the 800-metre pole. And Foreign Press is the leader by 4. The Delegator's gone up to race a clear second. He's moved 3 lengths ahead of Jetmaster and Chief Editor. They were followed by Royal Victor, then Royal Sanctuary, Lestat, Classic Flag, and then Bright Night. Further back at this stage is French Guest. Inside of that is Model Magic. Mr. Wizard is on there outside. Rarotonga Treaty dropped out to behind United Land. Don't know what went wrong, but Rarotonga Treaty has been pulled out of the race. Rarotonga Treaty, what a tremendous blow for the Mike de Kock stable. He's out of the race as they come to the 400. And Jetmaster's hit the front, but Classic Flag is in pursuit with the Delegator. Foreign Press, and on the outside is Chief Editor. They come past the 200. Jetmaster, Classic Flag. It's Classic Flag and Jetmaster, and Classic Flag has got to the front. Jetmaster's got no answer. Classic Flag from the west of the draw. He's the best in the land. Classic Flag a length to Jetmaster. Then came the Delegator. Model Magic is behind that. United Land. Foreign.
Well, if you watch that race, Classic Flag ended up a stallion. Jetmaster, champion sire in South Africa. I think he had huge breathing problems, Jetmaster. They did 2 wind-ups after this.
James. I believe he had 3 wind-ups. I might be wrong there, but he had 3 wind-ups, and he was just a superb big beast, bought by Patricia Devine cheaply as a young horse.
At a freezing cold Maritzburg Showground sale. I was there at the sale.
James, I'm not sure my facts here, but he won about 10 Group 1s.
It was a fantastic.
It was a fantastic and a great stallion. What a stallion! What a stallion! And what a great horse! And Classic Flag was a very good horse. He went on to win the Rothmans July, I think it was called in those days. Yeah,
absolutely fantastic. Let's go and have a look at Plum of the Week, and it's unbelievable.
To the 300, Blunderbuss the leader. Kalinski on the outside, Unbelievable Chad, Eternal Ice as they come down to the 200, and now Unbelievable Chad comes to get Kalinski past the 200, and Unbelievable Chad's now going on, and Unbelievable Chad's the leader. Down the inside, Blunderbuss, but Unbelievable Chad will come home today. Unbelievable Chad by 3. Second, Eternal Ice. Third place closed, Blunderbuss or Kalinski.
Well, we had to put this up as a plum. Everyone knew this horse was running. We picked it out as a horse to follow. And Chad Leclos, Burt, they were all on the racetrack. And you could have got 8 to 10 about this horse at any time. He opened up 2 to 1. Yeah. But for you, fantastic. You know, there must be a lot of pressure on with a horse like this. You know,
you couldn't deal with nicer people than Leclos.
But still, you've still got to have, you know, that feeling that you so desperately want to win for them.
Absolutely. If someone said to me, you're right, someone said to me at the beginning of the day, you've got a lot of nice runners. I said, I'd like Unbelievable Chad to win simply because of what it brings into the game. He's such a wonderful ambassador. He speaks beautifully. He doesn't stop a moment to do autographs. We are saying he does autographs. He's just one of those guys. Eh?
Well, we had him on the show when he was just starting, remember, right, when Bird started with the Unbelievable. But a lot of waters passed under the bridge then to end up getting to a situation where you've got him a racehorse. And I remember the sales was quite interesting because the horse that you wanted was called Leclos.
Yeah, well,
and there was a mess up with the bidding and whatever.
I'll tell you what happened in a nutshell is that Pippa had asked if we could get permission to name a horse Leclos. And they're great guys. I said, of course, go ahead. And then when it came up for sale, they said, try and buy it. And we thought we had bought it, but there was a misunderstanding.
With the bidding, yeah.
Yeah, with the bidding. And we eventually didn't get the horse. It went to the highest bidder. Yeah. And they didn't lose any sleep, it didn't lose any panic. And it looks like it's a decent horse too. It's run similar record to Unbelievable Chad. It's run 5th and 3rd. And now it'll probably win next time. But they ended up getting this one, who they've changed.
I think you got the better one. And it's funny how it works with horses. Time will tell, but really this horse looks very nice, and certainly 8 to 10 on end of bet at any time. This was the horse everyone was talking about. The whole world wanted this horse to win, and so he did, and fantastic for the team. And you know, to have a gentleman like Chad, how he's matured and grown into a,
what a wonderful man.
An ambassador. He spoke so beautifully.
Geraldine and Bert done a great job with their kids, and this guy, I see the latest Discovery magazine has got a photo of him, and it's got there, is Chad le Clos the greatest swimmer in the world at the moment? Something like that. It's a wonderful headline, you know.
Well, we think he is. We parochial, we South Africans, we think he is. Talking about that, we got Springboks starting this weekend. That will be an interesting little ploy. But before that, we're going to have a break.
Right, welcome to another edition of Current Affairs, and stakes racing, still nothing around our shores, but internationally 2 major races that we're going to show you. There were good racing, we'll touch on them before we speak to Jeremy Chetty. But let's get on to the first one, which was run at Doncaster. It was the St. Leger, and a very interesting race this. Let's go and have a look at the St. Leger.
And away they go, off and racing for the Ladbroke St. Leger of 2015. Storm the Stars just needed stoking up leaving the gates there. He wants to get a prominent position, Pat Cosgrave, as they race away from us down the back straight. Fields of Athenry emerges as the pace setter in the hands of Silvestre de Souza, with Simple Verse racing close up on the inside in second place, and now Storm the Stars settling alongside her in third. They're tracked then by Bondi Beach in the purple jacket, followed on the inside by Propose. Venture Masqué in the Wildenstein colours, the blue jacket at the back of the field, together with Medrano, as they continue away from us down the back straight here, and heading across towards the furthest point away from the grandstand, with Fields of Athenry out in front, leading from Simple Verse and Storm the Stars, who settled well. Then comes Proposed and Bondi Beach. Venture Masqué at the back of the field. They all settled really well. Medrano is at the back now as they go across the far side, and they'll take in Rose Hill, having completed their first half mile or so. Just under a mile and a quarter still left to go here in the Ladbroke St. Leger. And still Fields of Athenry leads by a couple of lengths. Storm the Stars now moves into a clear second place. Simple Verse the filly, with Bondi Beach racing on the outside of Proposed. Venture Masqué, and then at the back still looking on is Fergal Lynch on board Medrano as they turn over on the far side now, with Fields of Athenry still taking them along, and opens up now to lead by about 2.5 as they race inside the mile now. Storm the Stars racing a couple of lengths ahead then of the filly Simple Verse. Now getting a little bit closer is Bondi Beach on the outside, followed on the inner then by Proposed. Venture Masqué, and still Medrano brings up the rear. Got about 6.5 furlongs left to travel here in the Ladbroke St. Leger as they make their way down the side of the track. They've got the turn into the home straight in their sights very, very shortly. And still Fields of Athenry being held together. Storm the Stars still tracking with on the inside Simple Verse, and looking on then is Bondi Beach for Colin O'Donoghue. Venture Masqué is just trying to cover any moves, with on the inside Proposed, and Medrano being pushed along the back of the field as they straighten up for the judge here. Just under half a mile left to go in the Ladbroke St. Leger, and a look to see where his rivals are from Silvestre de Souza, who continues going strongly at the head of affairs on Fields of Athenry. Pat Cosgrave though manoeuvring Storm the Stars into contention. Here comes Bondi Beach on the outside. Simple Verse is battling away. Back in fifth place then is Venture Masqué. Medrano Proposers dropped out. Storm the Stars joins in and takes over now from Fields of Athenry. Bumping match behind there as Bondi Beach kept in Simple Verse. She's in the clear now though, but it's Storm the Stars who grabs the initiative. Racing towards the final furlong, Bondi Beach and Simple Verse trying to wear him down. Here comes Simple Verse, the filly, together with Bondi Beach. Storm the Stars trying to rally inside the final half furlong. The filly, Simple Verse from Bondi Beach. She's going to do it. Simple Verse has won the Ledger. Simple Verse has won it from Bondi Beach. It was tight for third then with Storm the Stars and Fields.
Now, James, interesting call there by the stops.
Well, the latest is that Rafe Beckett and Atenzi, who's a jockey, are going to appeal the
decision.
The decision. What to me made it interesting is, would Bondi Beach have beaten Simple Verse, but for the interference? And I don't think so.
I think
that Simple Verse came from behind it.
Yes.
You looked all the way through the race, and those of you that want to replay it and watch it, you watch Atenzi, he's always under pressure because he thinks this guy's going to get him in a pocket. From the 6 furlong mark, O'Donoghue gets up on his outside and says, you're going to stay right there the whole race. And kept him there the whole race, which is great race riding. That's how you should see riders ride the whole time. You see riders in this country just giving up their best positions to other jockeys because they're big jockeys or whatever. You should never give up your position.
No, you're right to win.
And he rode that horse brilliantly, O'Donoghue. But should he have beaten the other one?
No,
should
not
he have got
in my
the
mind.
objection?
Not
Well,
in my mind.
I think she came from behind him, and I think that she shouldn't have. Now we move on.
Well, now wasn't the horse who was taken down by Duke of Marmalade?
Absolutely. Well done. Well spotted. Duke of Marmalade, who stands now in South Africa. Simple Verses by Duke of Marmalade. So,
and the winners by Galileo.
Yeah.
I was just having a quick butcher's. I can't read the fine print here.
So
I just confirmed that Galileo, James.
Yeah,
Why are we talking about Galileo?
Yeah. Galileo 200th stakes winner.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. 200 stakes winners for Galileo. But a strange result. But we had one more big one, and it was the big race, James, and you might know a bit more about this, why they took out Glen Eagles, the Going Again.
Irish Champion Stakes. Now watch this poor horse get a bump in the straight. A Free Eagle gets taken out by the winner, and properly taken out. Maybe he would have beaten it. Let's go and have a look.
And in the early stages, right up on the outside, it's Highland Reel who's gone to the front, but Golden Horn has raced right up on the inside now to almost contest the lead, and Frankie's taken Golden Horn straight to the front. Leads now from in second place Highland Reel. Free Eagle is tracking them in third place just towards the outside. Then comes Place Cock, handy on the inner. Couple of lengths then to Cyrus de Zegler, who's just towards the outside of Found, and last year's winner, the Grey Gatsby, has dropped in at the back of the field in the early stages by Jamie Spencer. So racing right across from the stands, it's Golden Horn and Frankie Dettori a length in front of Highland Reel and Joseph O'Brien. Place Cock on the inside for Kevin Manning, with Free Eagle right up on the outside, Pat Smullen. Then Found Shamie Heffernan on the inside of Cyrus de Zegler, and Christophe Soumillon with 2 lengths to the Grey Gatsby, who's just the back marker. Already now they're racing up past the 5 and shortly coming out of the back straight. In front, Golden Horn from Highland Reel. 2 lengths then to Place Cock, who's on the inside, disputing third with Free Eagle, and they're being followed into the top turn by Cyrus de Zegler and Found, and just behind them, settled at the back of the field, the Grey Gatsby. But now they're on the run across towards the final 3.5 furlongs, and Golden Horn against the rail. Highland Reel up on the outside. Free Eagle is third. Place Cock is fourth, and then comes Cyrus de Zegler and Found, couple of lengths to the Grey Gatsby. About to make the turn now to swing for home. Golden Horn in the lead from Highland Reel. Free Eagle racing right up on the outside now to deliver his challenge. Frankie now has gone from push to shove. Free Eagle. Found is making ground right up behind them on the outside. Now switch to the centre. Golden Horn boxing on the rail. Free Eagle towards the near side. Then neck and neck. Golden Horn has swerved right over towards the near side, but leads Free Eagle and Found as they run towards the finish. It's Golden Horn. He's lugging towards the stand side, but Golden Horn has won the Quipco Irish Champion Stakes from Found. Free Eagle, Place Cock, Highland Reel.
Well, certainly the 2 races we've shown you, full of bumping and boring and smacking, and Golden Horn, James, dived out late.
Well, he dived, the way I read it was he dived out, and I watched the head on. He dived out and he completely knocked the other horse off his stride.
Yes.
You know,
cost him second, at
no
worst
doubt,
or best.
No doubt cost him second. And in fact, I think might have cost him the race.
Yes.
But Golden Horn ended up winning by 3/4 of a length. And it was a good race. But it's interesting how these people that run these inquiries, stipendiary stewards or stewards as they are overseas, actually read these races and what guidelines they have. And I think that this brings up the whole thing is that guidelines should be cast in stone. You know,
at the Asian Racing Conference many years ago, I was speaking to Graham Hawkins about it, they tried to unify objections. You know, you have the decision which is used in this country where if you've come in from behind, and you get interfered with, you would have gone past and won, and you bump a horse, so you come from behind him, you bump, you're going to keep the race, you might get time or whatever, because you were the right horse, which seems to be a good rule. You know, in the old days, and I don't know if they still do it in France, if you bump a horse, you two can be 10 lengths clear of the third horse, fighting it out. You bump the horse, they disqualify.
That horse, if that had been in France, Golden Horn demoted. No doubt.
Would he have been disqualified though, which is an archaic rule?
Certainly demoted. Okay?
Yeah, certainly
demoted.
Now,
the point is that that's what they do in France. I remember the horse won the Arc and ended up having the Arc taken away from him.
Do the French ever get over the Nureyev objection?
No, that's the point. They never got over that.
So the English have had a lot of
Nureyev rejection.
Yeah. They've had a few go against them in France, the English, and they've never forgotten Nureyev.
Yeah. Well, talking about the French, did you see Treve win the Prix de Vermeil?
How good is she at Longchamp, James?
Well,
three for three in the Arc. Can she do it?
Yeah, I think she'll absolutely doddle Arc.
The bookmakers agree with you. They've shortened her.
Well, I'd be taking 4 to 5. They were asking on the websites. They were asking all the professionals, would you be taking 4 to 5? The one guy said, I'd be taking 1 to 5. He says this is an absolute certainty. And the interesting thing is that she beat Arabian Queen, who beat Golden Horn.
Yeah.
Last time they ran. Right. And she beat her motherless. You know, this filly absolutely won in a canter. She won the Prix Vermeil, which she's never won, by 5.5. So she's an absolute fantastic filly.
Yeah. What else you got in the racing news?
Just the Irish St. Leger was run, and O'Brien won that as well. Order of St. George, Galileo as well. But Brown Panther was sadly put down. You know, Michael Owen's horse was just terrible.
Tom Gaskin
fractured his leg in the backstretch, and they put him down, which was shocking. But talking about old horses, Sol Power won a Group 2 again.
You were telling me that the first 3 home were Bullies.
Bullies, 8 years old, first 3 home in a Group 2 over sprints.
Don't you think a lot of horses are retired early?
Well, the thing is that, you know, they get niggles and whatever, and then we think to ourselves, you know, maybe it's time to call it a day, but maybe just a good rest will do them the world of good and they'll come back, you know. Absolutely. That's what they'll often need.
Yeah.
Talking about the young ones, Keeneland, September sales last night. Yeah.
Darling, we're the young ones. How's that, James?
Carry on.
That's all I know.
Is that all you know?
The late David Greet taught me that.
Yeah, it was at Cliff Richard.
Stiff Pilchard.
Yeah,
that was Stiff Pilchard at his best. Right, what have you got, Dave? Anything else before we speak to Jeremy?
September sales, 12 days. And we're going to actually take a break now. We're not going to take a break. We're just going to get Jeremy in the hot seat and find out how he won this Turf Challenge.
Perfect.
Well, the Charity Turf Challenge is a competition that is played by many South Africans. In fact, people all over the world play it. They pay their 50 bucks and they end up playing this Turf Challenge and trying to win 100,000 Rand. And we're lucky enough this year to get in the Charity Turf Challenge winner, Jeremy Chetty. Jeremy, nice having you in studio.
Thank you, James. Pleasure being here.
Now, you're a punter, obviously.
Yes, I'm a professional punter. Yes.
You're a professional punter. Yes. What does that mean?
I study form. It's very important when you're playing horse racing to study your form and know your horses.
Do you talk to jockeys? Do you talk to trainers?
No, I just I play what I fancy. But form study is very important.
And you make a living out of it?
No, actually I don't.
You don't make a living out of it? Well, you made 100 grand this year.
Yeah, lucky enough I did. Yeah. Yes.
And form is what it's all about, isn't it?
Yes, it's about studying form and being a bit lucky as well.
Are you a casino punter?
I used to. I think I was one of the youngest at Wild Coast to receive a gold card. But yeah, I've stopped that. I'm a roulette player. Every now and then I'll have a game,
but horse racing.
Horse racing is my passion. Yes.
Have you been in it all your life?
From a tender age of 12, when there was no teletrack or whatever, and you used to listen to commentary on the radio, East Coast, and you had Craig Peters and Eric Denman, you know, and you'll take your horses at the tote. I used to go with my granny at that time, my grandmother, and yeah, I used to play my 1 rand on a horse and then come back and listen into the radio and hope it wins, you know.
So your grandmother was a punter. She took you along and taught you all of these evil things that you shouldn't be allowed
yes,
to. Yeah.
Yes, and she's given me the bug.
Yeah, and horses themselves, are you involved in horses themselves?
Yes, at the age of 25 I got involved. It was one of my goals and ambitions in life. When we had our prom, I said one day I'll own a few race horses or lead in a winner. Have a nightclub. I've co-owned 2. And lastly, you know, hopefully own a casino someday, but that's inevitable. Yeah, getting back to racing, at the tender age of 25, I was introduced to Duncan House, and I bought my first racehorse with him, called Common Law.
And what happened?
She was a very good filly. Yeah. She was, as a 2-year-old, she showed us a lot, and she won me 3 races.
So you did, you got to lead it in.
Yeah, I did. I had a handful of horses, about 6 that I co-owned, but Common Law was my best. And what can I say, I led in 5 winners.
Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, the feeling is unbelievable. You're on cloud 9 for over a week, and yeah, I've just got involved recently with a good doctor friend of mine, Dr. Chetty, and we've bought one at the Sunco sale called Rev Your Engine.
Okay.
Yeah, and hopefully let's see how it goes.
And is that with Duncan as well?
No, that's with that's going to go to Daryl Moore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mates with the Moores, Ivan and Daryl?
Yeah, Daryl's a very good mate of mine.
Yeah.
Young up-and-coming trainer. Hopefully he gets opportunities. He's been an assistant with Charles Ledyard for about 8 to 10 years. So let's hope he does well.
Okay, Jeremy, let's go and talk about the Turf Challenge. How many entries did you put in?
Well, this year, believe it or not, I only put in 4 entries. And it was a spare of the moment. We were at the Spur having breakfast, and I had my tablet on me, so I entered online, and my wife said, look, maybe just enter. Every year you did it. I always put in 10 entries every year from inception. But yeah, this year it was just a last minute thing, and I only put in 4 entries.
How did it go all the way through the competition?
Well, look, I was biting Dee's Dinan's ear off weekly. Thanks, Dee's, for all the encouragement and the rest of it through the competition. It was very, very tense, James, going into the last week.
What did you need to happen?
I needed Punta Arenas to run unplaced. If Punta Arenas runs 3rd, the guy that was running 2nd pips me by 1 point.
Yeah.
And I had Hot Ticket in the Gold Cup,
yeah,
and I needed that to run into the money. If that ran 3rd, yeah, then I win the competition outright. Even though Punta Arenas runs 3rd, it doesn't really matter or materialize. But it was tense. When Hot Ticket ran unplaced, you don't even want to know the feeling.
You must have been devastated.
Oh, I was. I was in a classic room with a good friend of mine, director of GoldCircle, Babu Nanan. We invited myself and Sophia, my wife. And yeah, it was just tense. But the support was there. I had a lot of support throughout the competition. I entered under the name Common Law, because she was my lucky horse.
Okay.
Yeah, she brought a lot of memories to me, and you know, and yeah, it was just tense. And when we went into Legislate and Futura, running 1st and 3rd, and that was it. You know, we did the balances, and
you knew you'd won.
Yeah, I knew I'd won, and yeah. Then
what have you done with the 100 grand? You obviously went and bought a horse at the sale. That's
no, I didn't. I've got a very small share. It's more to get Dr. Chetty back in the game, and you know, he's also passionate. He's done a lot for me, so yeah, hopefully the horse does well. But I've had my fair share of winners, and the glory days are over. I just want to, you know, have some enjoyment. I've got 2 girls, so hopefully, you know, they lead in a winner with me.
It will be fantastic. Any advice to punters out there that want to play this Charity Turf Challenge?
I would say, look, you got to study your horses, study your form, and choose the right horses. You got to have anchors. Mine was Captain of All.
Yes.
I thought it'd be very hard to beat in the sprint races, and then obviously Power King was my trump card. And apart from that, yeah, you gotta also pick a stayer. Obviously, Hot Ticket didn't go work it in my favor, but you know, that's racing. But yeah, you got to study the graded races, and you got to be very careful in what you're picking. But
Jeremy, thanks so much for joining us here in the studio, and all the very best. Hopefully you can become the first back-to-back winner. I don't think anyone's ever done that.
Well, you know, saying that, James, you know, I had 4 entries, and I should have made racing history by running first, second and third had I substituted Eldoran C for Carry On Alice.
Yeah.
If I did that, then I would have won the competition and won first, second and third prize.
Well, you obviously got the knack. You didn't give us much, except that we got to find a banker. We wish you the very best for next year, and the very best in racing with all your horses and all your interests. You're obviously a passionate man about it. Many, many winners. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me on the show, and it's been a pleasure.
Jeremy Chetty, the winner of the Charity Turf Challenge. What a star, and lovely to find these guys that are so involved and so interested in racing, winning these competitions. We'll be back with another man who's involved and interested in racing, and that is our man, Budgie Byrne. He'll be back with us in a moment.
Delago Deluxe is closest to us with his head in front. Tennessee Strategy and Midnight Serenade. But Delago Deluxe is now stretching out in devastating style. Undefeated, 4 from 4. He's like a strike of lightning. Here's Delago Deluxe.
Right, welcome to another edition of Your Call. Jim's skipped out the office, just Bruce Willis left here, and I've got Budgie to join me. And Budge, wonderful to have you back in the studio. It's been a long time, and when we had you in for the last World Cup, you got it spot on. We should have had you in every week after that. And at the moment, Budge, the football's become a major, major thing.
Yeah.
You know, the big thing I'll talk to you about before I go on to separate issues is how you play these the soccer 6, the soccer 10, and the soccer 13. Obviously, the bigger player is the soccer 13.
Yes.
Are they hard to catch?
Definitely. The problem with the soccer 13, especially on a Saturday, there's a lot of championship games in.
Yeah.
There's normally 6 to 7 of those, and those are impossible to
Is the championship tough?
It's tough, yeah.
So you get relegated from the Premier, you go down to the championship, you're not guaranteed anything.
Some teams have got money, but the majority haven't.
Yeah.
So you get 1 or 2 injuries, and then you're under pressure.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And I've seen the guys. You've had some big success, haven't you?
Well, mainly on soccer 10s. I don't do the soccer 13s.
It's too hard.
It's too difficult. You know, how I work it out is I try and eliminate the teams that I think can't win. Then I put my pool together, and soccer 13s, it's thousands and thousands.
But you get situations where you've had over the past few weeks where obviously Chelsea's staggering start, their followers are all going to miss these. Well, anyone who plays the soccer 10s, Man United getting drilled, Liverpool getting drilled at home. It's been topsy-turvy. So do you play a bigger bet, or do you think, well, I can get away with 200 Rand, or do you go for the grands?
Well, you know, I like to try and find a few bankers. If you can find a few bankers, and I try and take on 1 or 2 teams I think that aren't playing well and aren't scoring.
Do you stick to form?
Yeah. Well, I think you have to. You know, I know Chelsea the other day at home getting beat by Crystal Palace. You know, Crystal Palace away from home, I think in the last 10 games got the best away record.
Yeah, they're
you know, so there's dangerous teams you've got to be careful of. And other than really Man City, there's no team in England you can really go for.
Are Man City head and shoulders above the rest at the moment?
I think they've got the best squad by a long way.
Yeah.
You know, if they lose 1 or 2 players, they have decent players to fill in. Where if you look at the other teams, you know, if Diego Costa doesn't score for Chelsea, who scores?
Yes.
You know, Hazard's had a bad start, so that's the end of them. You know, Arsenal have missed chance after chance in all the games. Do they need
another striker?
Goal scorer, yeah. But everyone has a go at Wenger. But if you can't get Benzema or a real top of the range striker,
He's not going to buy.
Who, you know, why buy?
Yeah, he's got a big squad.
Poof, massive. You have a look at his midfielders.
Players. He's got the biggest surplus of quality midfielders around.
I think there are a centre forward like Man United. We've got this new kid that's come. He's been there 10 minutes, so he's no
martial art.
Martial art. I think he reminds me of the Nicolas Anelka. Everyone's talking Thierry Henry.
Yeah,
when Anelka came along, he was grease lightning in his direct.
Le Silk.
Yeah.
Le Silk. But so, it's a lot of money. Let's talk about Man United for a moment before I go back to these soccer bets. Man United, obviously, you're passionate. It's on your shirt. You like Shay's got a tattoo on his He's passionate about it. And Man United seem to have this biggest spectrum in South Africa that I found of supporters. You know, a lot of my mates, the Dick Gosses, the King, and that every week they get into a bad mood. Is Van Gaal the right guy? First question.
He wouldn't have been my choice. Yeah. It would have been Mourinho after Ferguson left. The luncheon we went to at the, remember the boys came out?
Yes.
And I was lucky enough to go to the Beverly Hills and speak to Paddy Crerand.
Yes.
And when he was suntan there, we started chatting, and he told me that Mourinho had been to Old Trafford more times in the previous season than he'd ever been to Old Trafford before. So he wanted the job.
Yeah.
That David Moyes got the job. You know, everyone give him a chance.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out.
He's not a bad manager, but it's a big ship to steer.
You know, Paul, obviously when all the stats came out, he was at Everton for 11 seasons.
Yes.
And he's 46 away games against the top 4 teams in England. I would imagine that being Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United. Of those 46 away league games, how many games do you think he won?
12.
None.
Ooh,
so
that's
while he had the record, but he was always Alec Ferguson's man. You know, both Scotsmen come up the hard way. You know, hard working, and that was what he wanted. Where Mourinho, arrogant.
Yeah.
But if you have a look, when Mourinho took over Chelsea, the first player he signed was Matic.
Yes.
Man United needed to replace Scholes. Imagine if Matic had come into Man.
Correct.
You know, we wouldn't have had Fellaini, as much as I like him, but 27 for Fellaini, 37 for Mata. That were his first 2 signings. And not really signature signings to take United to the Champions League, because that's how you judge United, Champions League. Yeah. At the moment, if you put the top 10 teams in the world, we're not in that.
Not in the top 10.
Not even close.
Budge, are you top 4?
In England, yes. Yeah. But the thing is, you've got, it'll be Man City, Arsenal. Chelsea will come right.
Yes.
But it's who else is there? Liverpool, they've struggled. You know, Tottenham, your team, they're up and down. Who else is there?
There's nobody else to come through. Newcastle's and Crystal Palace and Leicester, and them started well, but can they continue?
Crystal Palace, definitely. I think he's a good manager. When you can sign a guy like Cabaye from Paris Saint-Germain, and they've got good wingers, Paul. You have a look in England, how many wingers are there?
Those up front,
there
was Zaha,
but they direct.
Yeah, they direct.
Lassie, and then they direct and they have a go.
But they nearly came away with a point.
Well, if you have a look who they've played Arsenal. And they lost 2-1, but it was a competitive game.
They hit the post.
They went to Chelsea and won 2-1.
That's right.
You know, they were lucky against Norwich. They won 3-1 away at Norwich. But, you know, then they play Man City, and it was nip and tuck. There was, they weren't outclassed.
No.
You've got a team that's been spent £1 billion, Man City, to a team that's been put together for maybe 100 million.
Yeah. That's so true. And Budge, see the managers flare up when the one win at the other guy. They shook hands.
There's been previous before that. There was an altercation at Newcastle, But the tackle's starting to fly now in England.
Yeah.
You know, the tenser it gets. And if the referees don't stamp it out early and book them. But it was a red card. I didn't look at it initially, but I have seen it previous. Yeah. Geez, the guy caught Aguero. It was a shocking challenge.
It was a shocking challenge, I agree. And the commentator kept saying, a lot of people said red card, you know, even Spielberg. But I do know, Budge, while we're just finishing off on Man United, that are you a squad in the making?
Yes.
You do think so?
You know, he's signing a lot more younger players.
You're endorsing your manager.
Yeah.
And I liked his stance on De Gea. What was your take on all that?
You know, if Real Madrid really wanted him for the 32 million or whatever it was, pay it.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, they're signing Bale for 88 million, Ronaldo for 80, this guy for 40. If he's that desperate,
take him.
32 million to them. They're backed by the Spanish government anyway.
Yeah.
So they'll just lend them some more money.
So the bottom line is that...
I'm glad he stayed.
Yes, he's very good.
You know, best player the last 2 seasons.
So Budge is top 4 definitely, but win the league, tough call.
Nah, unless this new kid is a new Ronaldo, then you have a chance. You know, it's still early on him. You need a centre half. You can't play Smalling and Daley Blind.
Do you
Can't
think
play them. You play a good team. No.
Yeah, they're going to struggle.
Going to struggle. I like the two fullbacks. They set.
And Rooney is like Harry Kane at the moment. They just can't buy a goal.
You know, Paul, he gets £270,000 a week against Swansea. He got 3 runaways on his left foot, never had one shot.
Do you think he's just struggling a bit?
Yeah, I suppose so. You know, I Googled it before I came here. He's been playing for Man United for 11 seasons.
Which is a long time.
And he's only 29.
He's some quality. You know, the number 1 on the England card. He's broken Charlton's record.
I think he's the only decent player you can talk about in England, really.
Yeah, he's just a quality, class act. And
yeah.
So you're quite happy with your boys, but you know it's another hard year.
You know, Champions League will get exposed, but it's
just talking about Champions League. We've got our teams going through.
Yeah.
Will Man City, they've never really been that great in Europe, have they?
You know, to me, tactically, he's got it wrong. In Europe, you've got to make sure you give nothing away in the midfield. They've played Bayern Munich and Barcelona and played Yaya Toure and a Fernandinho. Now, you can't do that against Barcelona. Yeah, you've got to defend first and then counter-attack. And they've tried to play football against them. You can do it in England because the quality, to me, isn't too great. But in Europe, you get the Real Madrids and the Bayern Munichs.
All quality.
Quality teams. And they've got good players all round.
Yeah. The guys who come on are good players. The bench players, the greats. So now they got Juventus.
I think they'll beat Juventus. You know, they tore the soul out of the old lady, as they know in Juventus. They lost Pirlo was the brains. But Vidal and Carlos Tevez, they were their 2 trump cards. They've lost. All those 3 have gone. They haven't won a game in the league this year.
I
think Man City will murder them now.
So Man City are our best chance for Champions League?
Well, yeah, you'd think so.
Picked any roughies from the other countries?
Well, I look at value, Paul. You know, everyone's going to go for Barcelona. But if Messi and Neymar and Messi and Iniesta get injured, it levels the playing field.
Yeah.
You know, Bayern Munich, Guardiola's turned them into a similar style team as Barcelona. I think there's only 3 Germans left in the team.
But they play.
They play. You know, they've signed Vidal, who's a winner. They've got that young Thiago Alonso. And if Ribery and Robin come back, I know they're both injured at the moment, but if they come back with Müller Lewandowski, they are a serious threat.
So
but my lurker is Paris Saint-Germain.
Paris Saint-Germain?
So, you know, last year they got beat by Barcelona in the, I think it was the quarterfinals. Yes. But, you know, Thiago Silva is rated the best defender in the world. He was injured. You know, they had David Luiz playing sweeper, and he got roasted. Yeah. But Thiago Motta got injured, Ibrahimovic was injured. So in the key games last year,
so that's your roughie,
they're 14-1, Paul. If you're looking to beat Barcelona, they're in the same group as Barcelona, so they'll get through. And they'll be runners-up, so they won't have to play Barcelona in the last 16. So they should get a fairly easy game. I just think at value, Paul, 14-1. I think Barcelona are 5-2, and Real Madrid are 3-1.
So Barcelona as good as they've been the last few years?
Well, I think their squad isn't as great as it has been, but their starting 11 is by far the best. That midfield is the best.
Messi's still the best player in the world?
Yeah, but the support he's got for him, Paul, is you look around, he's got Suarez.
Yeah, he's a great player.
You know, you've got Neymar, best Brazilian. You said Suarez, best Uruguayan. The best Spanish player in the last 10 years has been Iniesta.
Yes.
He's playing. They've got Rakitic, who's now the current Croatian. Yeah, Rakitic, the Croatian. And you've got Busquets, who, in Johan Cruyff's interview the other day, said he's the most intelligent player in football. He's the anchor man, the sweeper. He can play and he just sweeps and keeps it all going. You know, you've got Alves. And, you know, just got so much going forward. But defensively, they suspect.
So that our chances.
They are the team to beat, no doubt.
Yeah, our chances of winning the Champions League. No, they're not going to win it. So if we look at semi, we've done well.
Yeah. You know, if you have a look, if Man City, well, if Chelsea, you never know with Mourinho, tactically he can get it right.
Yes.
But if Man City go to Barcelona, I mean, if Chelsea go to Barcelona and they knock them out, then they've got Real Madrid.
Yeah. But talking about Jose Mourinho, he's been a legend wherever he's gone. They say 3 seasons and he moves on.
Yeah.
Now, he's obviously heard all this, and he's still, when he's catching these results, he still supports his lads.
Well, he's got to support. To keep the change room right, you have to.
Yes.
You know, I listened to Peter Schmeichel the other day, and I agree with him. I'd watched the Everton game.
Yes.
And they got murdered.
Yeah, Everton's a better side. And he said if we'd taken our chances...
That's what I don't like about him. I respect how good he is, but when you get beat,
put your hands
come
up.
out and say, on the day, the best team won.
Yeah. And he did say it's when confidence is not there, it's not there. Well, and there's no... Hazard's gone missing,
Well, they don't score goals, Paul. If you have a look, you know, Falcao was at United and struggled. You know, had the cruciate ligament, and it's hard. You know, Diego Costa, all he wants to do is fight with people.
Yeah, he's very aggressive.
You know, Fabregas is having a bad run. Yeah. So who else is there?
Boy, Hazard.
Everybody's double teaming him.
Wilmot said he was the worst player in Belgium's team, even though they scored a goal the other day. So they're going through a bad patch.
Yeah, they have the quality, obviously, to come right.
But the Mourinho teams have always been rubber stamped by sound defences.
Yeah.
How many goals have they conceded now? It's outrageous.
Yeah. Well, the right back, Ivanovic, shame. But have a look at the teams that have beat them. Crystal Palace, lightning white wingers, go past you.
Everton.
You know, Everton.
Yeah.
You know, and even Swansea. You know, Swansea, that Montero roasted Ivanovic.
Yes.
You know, that Jordan Ayew, they're quick players. And it's still early on in the year.
Yeah, it is early
on in the year. And the big boys at the back take a little bit of time to get going. But I just think if you're conceding 2 goals, they should be good enough to score 3 and 4. And they're not scoring.
They're not scoring. They just can't score goals. So Chelsea, tough year.
Oof, it looks like it.
Arsenal, we're talking about that. Now let's talk about this transfer window. A lot of people have spoken about it and said, why can't you just buy any time? That's one school of thought. Yeah. And there's one school of thought saying, well, if everyone has got the big money, we'll get the players.
Buy when they have a need. Yeah.
I
do agree with the windows. I don't agree it should be the first month after the season starts. Sign your players before the season, and then you've got from then till Christmas to analyse who you want. You have the January window, and that's it.
Yeah, that seems to be
it's not fair on the smaller clubs. Like take Berahino at West Brom. They've got everything set up. Spurs come in to try and sign him because they think someone's buying Harry Kane.
Yes.
So now if you sell Berahino, you've got to go and get another player to replace him.
And they do it at the 11th hour. Everything's the 11th hour. We saw with De Gea, we saw with West Bromwich Albion and Spurs.
That's the time, guys. You sign it before that date, before the season starts, done.
Yeah, before the first ball's kicked, you've got your
and everybody knows.
And Budge, there are people are just another aspect I want to talk about. People are saying that, gee, they get paid a lot of money. But Budge, how many, was it 1 billion people watched Man United Liverpool on Saturday? It's amazing how many people watched the game.
Yeah. Paul, you know, Rooney gets, say it's 250,000 a week. So that's £1 million a month, 12 million a year. But if you sell him, you're going to get 50.
Yes.
So it's 4 years he's worth. You know, I can understand that. It's when you're paying bad players the 60s and 70s. That's what's killing all these clubs.
Yeah, and they've got massive squads, the big
massive
teams.
Squads. You know, how many players don't want to leave? Balotelli didn't want to leave Liverpool.
Yeah.
He's reportedly on £120,000
Adebayo at Spurs.
They're on
Man
big
City
money.
were paying half.
Yeah.
And
now they go on loan. AC Milan, I watched it last night. They lost to Balotelli came on against Inter Milan. I think AC Milan said, we'll pay 50. Now Liverpool must top up his salary. So you're paying £70,000 a week for somebody that's not there.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
Now that's 52 weeks in the year.
Yeah. And there's no comeback.
There's
you get nothing
back. So that's the problem. All these agents are out there wheeling and dealing for their clients, which is normal.
And for themselves.
Yeah. But if you don't sign the right guy at the right price, you know, Nani was on £90,000 at Man United. Ferguson read the script, tried to sell him to a club in Russia. He said, I'll go, but I want 120,000. The club said, we're not paying that.
Yeah.
Deal off. So now he's on loan. He goes to Sporting Lisbon on loan.
And Man United pay?
Well, I think Sporting will pay £20,000. United must top up the 70. So, you know, you're doing money in cold.
All they're doing is softening their bill by 20.
Softening 20, yeah. The players elsewhere. And that's, so you don't want him. But now he signs a 5-year contract. Good luck to him, but there's no buyout clause for the club unless you pay him up. Say, thank you, there's your money, go.
Budge, another tough question I'm going to throw out of left field for you, because this is one I'd hate to answer.
Yeah.
The league's in its infancy, this new league with the Premier League. Who's the first manager who's under pressure, and who's the first manager you think will go?
I think the first guy, I think he'll resign as a Sunderland boss, Dick Advocate.
He's never been relegated.
Well, this could be the first time. You know, yesterday they were a little bit unlucky. Defoe had 2 shots, hit the post.
Yeah, that's right.
But they just don't look like a team. I look in defence, Kabul, Tottenham got rid of. They've got John O'Shea.
Yeah.
You know, there's just no... They just don't look like creating or scoring. I know Barini got signed from Liverpool, and when he was there last year,
he's not a bad player. And another boy, the blonde boy in the midfield is not bad. But they do look...
they just don't look like they're going to score many goals.
Long, hard year for them, eh?
Looks a tough season for them.
So the pressure's on... You think...
you know, Mourinho can only walk out. No one will fire Mourinho.
No one will fire
and you start going through all the smaller clubs. Bournemouth aren't going to fire
all the big guns bosses in place. The Pochettinos, the Rodgers.
Yeah, well, Rodgers after yesterday... he's under.
Bit more
wouldn't
cosh.
surprise me if he's favourite to go next, because that was the worst I've ever seen.
The first half, the commentator said it's been the worst he's ever seen of derby between those two major clubs.
Well, 18 months ago, well, it was the Cheltenham, the Friday of the Cheltenham was that Sunday. Liverpool beat United 3-0 at Old Trafford. And I was sitting there with Swiveller, and we got an absolute pounding.
Yes.
And David Moyes was in charge, and everyone goes to the usual lemonade at half-time. Oh, what are we going to do? 1-0 down, the first penalty Gerrard scored. They said, well, we've got to take the young kid off Januzaj, take Matt off, get Welbeck on, and let's have a go. Game goes on, Liverpool get another penalty, 2-0, and United are getting totally slaughtered.
Yeah.
75 minutes go by, the board goes up. Liverpool make a change. I think Coutinho came on for Sturridge or something like that. 78th minute, United make a change. You know, and the crowd were baying. We got beat 3-0, and that was the day, I believe, Moyes lost his job. After the game, they had the chosen one on the Stretford end. The fans tried to rip it off.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be humiliated against your biggest rivals. And
yeah, that's one.
You signed a guy, Firmino, from Germany, plays him left wing.
Do you think Rodgers could be falling into a tough position, catching 3-0 at home to West Ham, losing 3-1 away at Man United? It's serious pressure.
It's the way you get beat. You know, they signed Jordan Arby. They sold Sterling, 49 million. Now they've got Arby, and he's a replacement. So you think, great. You need a wide player to get the ball in the box for the centre forward Benteke. They play Danny Ings. Never played in his life. He ends up chasing the whole half. He's chasing the two fullbacks.
Yeah.
Firmino, when he played at Hoffenheim, he's a number 10. He's playing him on the other side to close. Nah, what are you trying to do here? You know, Milner was running around, didn't know what day it was. And when they did get the ball, they gave it away.
Yeah, they
but
gave it quickly. Yeah.
You know, the fans must have been thinking, what are we watching here? And 2 years earlier, they should have won the league.
That's right. The Gerrard slip.
But it was the way they played. If you have if you watch Leicester,
yes.
And they're going nowhere this year, but they have a go.
Whoa, they have a go. But those boys up front.
Yeah, that little guy, I don't know if you saw the winning goal. Nathan Dyer is smaller than me. The ball got played in. He didn't even know where the ball was. But that's sheer bravery to get in the box to score.
Yeah.
You know, and you take your hat off to them. But you watch the bigger clubs, and I'm just watching Liverpool. Ken Moby phoned me, couldn't talk. He switched his phone off. I spoke to Ken yesterday.
He was so upset.
Oh, it's losing to United is one thing for the supporters, but it's how you get beat, Paul.
Yeah. Arsenal, got a chance?
There's no one else.
Yeah,
so they have to have a chance.
There's no one else.
No one else.
Has it become a bit of a void, the top four, and then the rest, and sort of the next four, and then the bottom half of the league?
You know, he's signed a lot of quality midfield players. So with those players, they're always going to keep the ball. You know, but you can't trust Arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, defensively, I like Koscielny, but I'm not sold on Mertesacker. I know Czech's a good goalkeeper, but put the ball in the right area, he's going to be under pressure. But they just don't score enough goals.
Yeah, for the amount of quality.
They should have beat Stoke. I watched the highlights. They should have been 4-0 up at half-time.
Yeah.
Now, if you play a good team, well, the same was with the West Ham game. West Ham had one cross, 1-0. All on, the other 2-0, they got beat.
Yeah.
You can't win leagues like
that. So, Budge, we've got your opinion here, but I think a lot of people out there want to go and try and make some money out of betting on football. Yeah. It's a massive industry today. People queue up at the terminals just to get their bets on, and just a lot of them are having a bet on our South African league.
Yeah.
Again, I follow Gordon Nickerson because he grew up with us. Budge, he's a great mate, and he was leading 1-0, and Chiefs, they got Furman sent off. Chiefs, boom, 4-1.
The Chiefs are one of the few South African teams you can trust.
Is that right?
You know, Steve Competter's gone there, and like the Chiefs in our day, one midfield player cuts, the rest just bomb forward.
Yes, they go.
They have a full go. They play like how you should play.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing I think about our football is there's too many owners, too many meetings. Managers are under the pressure. Don't get beat. So they defend.
Yeah. So Chiefs.
Chiefs head and shoulders. Yeah.
Best side. Yeah. Better than Pirates.
I watched Pirates a little bit last night against Zamalek. They got beat 4-1, but I spoke to one of the guys at the gate here. He was crying. But, you know, Zamalek have won more cups in Africa than anybody. So there's no shame to go to Egypt and get beat.
Yeah, yeah. So learning curve for Tinkler.
That's the problem. Chiefs don't want to go and play in these cups. They go, but they don't want to go. They'd rather win in South Africa than try and win in Africa because it's tough.
Yeah. Well, Budge, we got your opinion. We're going Chiefs. We're going Man City.
Well,
we're going Paris Saint-Germain.
Well, at 14-1, I think it's a good price.
Budge, thanks as always. I could sit and talk to you for hours. Thank you very, very much. And there we go. For my money, the foremost authority on football in this country, Budgie Byrne. he's just given us a quick glimpse into his brain and what goes on, and we thank him very much for coming in and speaking to us. That's your call for this week.
Second position, but Military Roses giving them a bath. That's one of the biggest millions I've ever seen. Grace Valana, the leader. Grace Valana.